Hi, everybody. All right, here we are in Alchemy 301. And today I want to talk more about quantum reality creation and all the different myriad of ways in which one can do that. So in the previous video, I talked about how you can pull possibilities and newness from the quantum field and then pour that into existing reality. So you can use consciousness to reshape reality. You can also use vibrational frequency to reshape reality. So you can like power up the frequency from the deep within, from the deep earth, from the great cosmos, from joy, from, wherever you get your high vibrational frequencies from. And you can, as an expanded field, which includes the earth, you can raise the vibrational frequency for all beings, all life upon earth. And one of the things I want to say about that is that when you raise the frequency, the vibrational frequency, you raise conscious awareness and the capacity of people to see beyond things, to see newness, to see magnificence, to bring genius through, to explore their own magnificence. It's as if in a kind of lower vibrational frequency, everything's kind of locked in and dull, but in a, I'm going to say higher vibrational frequency, but it's very present vibrational frequency. People and animals and forests and trees and earth and nature get to exhilarate themselves in a kind of natural way. So raising the vibrational frequency of the whole planet, of the space you live in, of the country you live in, however you want to apply that, just immediately alters the conscious awareness and the level of consciousness and creation and genius in which we can play together. So there's two. You can do it through consciousness, the quantum field, and through vibrational frequency. Another way to innovate reality is through your gaze. And I would say this mostly affects the immediate reality in your surroundings. But if you stand in an expanded space, then it can also affect the whole of the world and the whole of the universe if you wanted it to. So what happens when you use your gaze? So for example, if you use looking at a person, so you look at a person and you see, in a lower vibration, you'd see clothes and lifestyle choices and, do they look a certain way, and you'd have all kinds of assessments and whatever of that in a lower vibrational frequency. In a higher vibrational frequency with your gaze, you see magnificence, you see wonder, you're in awe, you touch something. So your simple gaze, your simple looking at something, I'm using a person in this instance, but it could be the town or city you live in, it could be the home you exist in, it could be your car, it could be nature surrounding you. Your gaze has the capacity to quantum leap it into the newest and bestest version of itself, like that. So one of my ways of doing that is to kind of walk in wonder and awe and kind of just see beauty everywhere. So if we're driving, for example, to go to do the shop in Glastonbury from Wells, which is about 5 miles, I'm like in awe of the green and the field and the nature abounding and the flowers and the brightness of them. And they seem to get brighter and more beautiful all the time. So my gaze works to source reality. And I would say that's become a kind of natural thing for me. It's not something I have to think to do. It was originally, I had to think, oh yeah, shift my gaze. And it's not just, oh, okay, so I'm looking at you there. I'm looking at you now. I'm looking at you, but it's more like I'm experiencing you. And as I'm experiencing you, I'm also alchemizing you to become more and more and more of yourself. And what happens in the space that source is people and nature and towns and cities and, you know, musicians and artists and whatever you're putting your gaze upon, they elevate, they exhilarate, they show up as more and more of themselves over time. And that therefore alters reality. Now, here's another way of doing it through kindness. Now, to me, kindness is a superpower. Some people would think, oh, kindness is a sweet word where you can be kind to someone and hopefully that'll have a ripple impact. But no, kindness is a superpower. And when you be kind to yourself, to someone else, to an animal, to nature, it's like you as an alchemist, that kindness ripples across the world and it fills all the spaces and it compels kindness almost out of everyone. It puts kindness in as a superpower for all to learn. So there, so far we've touched on 4 ways: consciousness, quantum field, vibrational frequency, gaze, and kindness. Okay, are there other ways? Well, sometimes I do it through dancing. I'm a disco queen. I love disco music. I love the music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe even the 90s. I just love that music. There's iconicness in it. There's a beat in it to dance to. There's a wild, unleashed expression of oneself in it. And when I dance, which I try to do most nights before I go to bed, I put the disco tunes in my ear and dance, and I'm spreading that kind of joy throughout the world. So that's another way that I do it. Sometimes I walk up the Glastonbury Tor, and when you walk up the Glastonbury Tor or any place like that, you could be on a beach, you could be walking up a hill, you could be on the top of a mountain or someplace in a forest, someplace that fills you with that sense of awesomeness of the world. And in those cases, when I'm working on sourcing reality, it's like I'm breathing the world into its newness, and I'm doing it from a space where this expansiveness is automatically available to me, this joy, this momentum, this power sources through me. And those are all ways in which I source new reality into the world. And I'm sure there are many, 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 many more. Some people could do it through baking or gardening or, you know, there's a million different ways of doing this. And you have to find what exhilarates you, what lights you up, what brings you to that place of alchemical wonder and awe and sourcing life into its next new possibilities for all. Okay, that's it for this one. Have fun playing with finding your ways.